Good morning, friends and fellow traders. This is Doug Campbell with Right Way Options, and this is the morning market preparation video for August 30th, 2018. So, hey everyone, as we wind down, we've got just one more day in August. The bulls have been showing a tremendous amount of tenacity, just pushing for those upside moves. And as you can see here in the Dow yesterday, we took a new high here in the Dow, moving on up, showing tremendous strength in this run since Wednesday 2 weeks ago, when we just reversed and took off to the upside. Now, we still have a considerable ways to go before the Dow can actually break through all-time highs, but we're certainly showing that very nice strength in here, and we're holding above downtrend lines, and we're holding above that March support area, so all is well. Now this morning we are looking at the futures pointing a little bit lower, and that really shouldn't be that big of surprise considering how strong this market has moved up, so strong, so fast, and the fact that we have a 3-day weekend on the way. It wouldn't be all that surprising to see a little bit of profit taking ahead of that 3-day weekend. So watch this really closely. This morning we're looking at a little bit of a gap down this morning, as you can see right here, with the bears taking back a little bit of this up move, at least at the open, and we'll see if that can hold. Now, we do have news coming out, or potential news coming out, by Friday of a U.S.-Canadian trade deal that would put the NAFTA deal back in place, which obviously would probably be very bullish for the market. So I wouldn't get overly bearish here, and I certainly wouldn't try to anticipate a whole bunch of short positions with that news potentially pending over the next day or two if they reach that agreement. So watch closely here. We still could have some upside move here before the end of the week. So this little pullback this morning, not a big surprise. Don't get too overly panicked by it. Remember, what's going to be important is if we do pull back, that we find support either off of this trend or off of that price support. That's going to be the important piece. So watch that as we move forward. Let's take a look at the SPY. The SPY new record highs yesterday, pushing on through those bulls, very tenacious, just shoving and shoving and shoving to the upside, and the bears just not having any power at all at the moment. As you can see this morning, we're going to get a little bit of a gap lower on that SPY, but having broken out to all-time new record highs and continuing to set new record highs 4 days in a row, any rest or pullback should not be that big a surprise, and a little profit taking coming in ahead of the weekend would also not be out of the question here. So watch for a little bit of rest, and that rest can just come in the form of a consolidation. But if we really do start pulling back again, watch that trend and watch that price support area of those all-time highs. We want to see that being supported. Let's take a look at the Qs. Again, another all-time high here in the Qs, with the Qs really putting in a show yesterday, pushing up hard. And once again, we're seeing just a little tiny bit of selling here in the NASDAQ. NASDAQ holding up the strongest this morning. So a little bit of rest, possibly. A little bit of pullback would not be out of the question. And remember, that 3-day weekend that's coming adds a little bit of risk. We know there's the possibility of market moving news events that occur over a 3-day weekend. And just having that long weekend in play, we also know that there's a high likelihood that traders will be heading out on Friday, extending their vacations, and we may even see light, choppy trading even into Tuesday of next week as those traders just continue to extend, that Labor Day holiday. So watch that close. Even if we don't see the NAFTA deal, if we don't see big selling coming in, we could certainly see choppy and light volume, Friday and into Tuesday, just because so many traders will extend that vacation. So be careful there. There is some risk in those long weekends with that volatility that could kick in based on any kind of news. So watch that. Plan your week just a little bit carefully. One of the things that I've been doing is kind of scaling out and taking profits. Really started that process on Tuesday, and all I'm trying to do is lower my risk to the weekend, lock in some gains, and really do my job as a trader, manage that money, making sure that I'm bringing in the profits, and protecting that capital when there might be an elevated risk over a 3-day weekend. So watch that, or consider that, I should say. Let's take a look at IWM here real quick. IWM led us out to these new record highs, breaking out first and continuing to hold up, setting a new record high close on Wednesday, and looking very, very good. So here we are. We're looking at lots of strength here in the market, and no signs, at least at the moment, of a pullback, except for what we're seeing in the futures. Now, Asian markets were a little bit lower overnight, mostly lower, I should say, and European markets are kind of lower across the board, modestly lower. So we could see that little bit of selling, that little bit of profit taking possibly kick in. So watch that closely. Let's take a quick peek at the VIX. The VIX holding up really, really well. And as you can see, this is a very interesting level of support right here. And prices seem to be just pretty happy setting right here. There doesn't seem to be much fear here in the market. But we will certainly probably see this move up today if that little profit taking starts coming in. So watch that. Now, there's a little pattern forming here that I think we don't want to get overly concerned about, but one we want to pay attention to, and that's the possibility of a little bit of a head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders pattern here on the VIX. So watch that close. I certainly would not want to read too much into that. Fear is one of those funny things. It can change really, really fast in both directions. But if this little inverted head and shoulders pattern does pick up, we'll want to watch that carefully, because we could start seeing that fear pick up here in the market. We'll watch it. And of course, again, the NAFTA deal, if the NAFTA deal comes through between U.S. and Canada, that could drop the fear right through here, and this pattern goes away. You don't have to worry about it. Let's take a look at T21.22. T21.22, that 4-week new high, new low ratio. Looking at that ratio, you can see we've been getting just these little tiny rest periods here in that, pulling back a little bit. So the good news is we still have plenty of room that we could move up here in T21.22. You can see we've been up in these areas, certainly many times before. So we could move on higher, but it also shows us that we have a considerable space that we can move lower. So kind of just keep that in mind. We're up there in that region where a little bit of selling, a little bit of profit taking is not out of the question. Okay, let's take a look at the economic calendar today. We don't have a whole lot to really move us around a lot today, I don't think. We have weekly jobless claims, and of course, that can move us around if there's a big surprise, but this is hovering around historic lows. And labor continues to come in very, very strong. So I doubt we'll get much movement of the market in this. Personal income and outlays. Personal incomes are supposed to increase on this report, as well as consumer spending. So everything is looking pretty good. There with that report, it looks like. We have a natural gas report that can move the market around a little bit if there's a big surprise. What we've been seeing here lately is a little bit of a build in supplies, U.S. supplies. So watch that. That could affect those oil and gas prices. So watch that. And then Fed balance sheet today. I doubt we get much movement out of that Fed balance sheet. So watch those things and be aware. We also have a pretty good calendar, economic calendar today, with quite a few companies reporting. Notable type companies reporting today. So over 50 companies reporting, and we're going to be hearing from companies like Dollar General reporting this morning. Looks like they're gapping down. DLTR, it looks like they're also moving lower this morning, assumedly missing expectations on those. We have Sears holding this morning as well. We have this afternoon, Signet Jewelers is another one this morning that you might want to keep an eye on. Looks like that one's gapping up this morning, already reported, looking good. And then this afternoon we have AMBA. They'll be reporting earnings this afternoon. We have COO reporting this afternoon. Lululemon also reporting this afternoon. So quite a few companies to just be aware of. Ulta is also reporting this afternoon. So watch those reports. Those can move the markets around for sure and for certain. So everyone, hey, I want to wish you all a fantastic day. And if this is the first time you've seen these videos, please do me a favor. Click that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow me button on Facebook. Click those thumbs up buttons and drop a comment. You guys are the best. I really, really appreciate it. And always feel free to share this video with any friends and family. Everyone, I want to wish you the best today. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you all bright and early Friday morning. Don't forget, plan for the 3-day weekend and how much risk you want to carry into it. Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.